So the first thing you asked, I actually have a question. When we talked about holding an angle, you mentioned the actual peeking back and forth instead of micro jiggling. How do you place your crosshair? So the theory I was talking about was doing these big jiggles like this instead of these micro ones, just because it looks super weird, especially with the new update where your head stays like in the middle of kind of your mass, your body mass. It doesn't go behind like it used to. It doesn't. You never used to. Or you used to lean, but now you don't lean anymore. So what it is doing like, yeah, these big jiggles, and you kind of put your crosshair just on the edge of the wall. So in CSGO, I used to have my crosshair pretty close to the wall, like always. Where you want to have your crosshair when you're doing these big jiggles is just on the edge here. So CSGO, I used to have it more close to here, but now I kind of put it out a bit more just because of how fast people swing. So like if I'm holding an angle, I'll hold like this. So I don't even have to move my crosshair. I can just kind of go into a donk slide like this. Gonna go left, right, and then just instantly into it. Now, on that note, there's two different types of donk slides, which I don't think I described to you. The first one is like this, where it's you're doing this, you're going left, right, and the donk slide is just an insta crouch walk like this. So you're going left, right, and then whenever you see them, whichever way you're going, you just donk slide like that. So this is like one of the donk slides. This is like Tarek used to do this all the time, where it's just holding crouch and just moving like that. Now the other donk slide is then standing up again. So this is like I know how to describe it. It's like an up and down like wave like this. So it's where you're going left, right, you see them, and then you're standing up and then going back. So you're jiggling left, right, keeping your crosshair a little bit out from the wall. And then you see him, and then you go like that. So you go into like a crouch, but then you stand up again. And then what I do is I go into a crouch, stand up, and then sometimes do a little strafe at the end. Because you're fully accurate when you move from like here to here. Like this bit is fully accurate. So I add that in as well. That's a bit more advanced, but it's like holding the angle, left, right, and then stand up. And then that little extra one. And you can do it the other way as well. So this is like two different types of donk slides. There's one where you're just crouching, which is a bit easier. One of my teammates, Shady, he does it all the time, and he's super sharp, and he gets a lot of kills from doing that. That works for him. Some people also do what I'm saying, which is like I've seen Donk do this as well. And Donk does both these. That's why there's like two different types of them. Hey everyone, thought I'd quickly let you guys know I made a mini course alongside pro Latvian player Keen on the 7 qualities you must possess to be a star player and how to get them. The course covers many concepts that I haven't covered in my YouTube, and it gives specific practical advice, plus a direct line to me if you need any help about the concepts in the course. So go check that out in the description below. So the first one is tennis, which I've talked about, is just if the tees, for example, Molly, you top car here, you wait a second for the Molly, and then you throw the Molly, because then this one fades first before this one, which means this one kind of becomes negated because they can't use it, right? So they've thrown this, they're trying to get close to the wall. Oh no, they can't, they have to wait. And then this one fades before this one, so that gives you space to be able to peek. So that's what tennis is. So the bird from Sky concept is more of a T-side concept, and what it is for example, say the CTs take Nana and you guys have taken mid brackets. Now, what will the CTs do when they have banana like this? You know they have banana. What are they going to do? They're going to rotate a guy off. They're going to have a guy jump spotting. They're going to have a guy jiggling. They're going to have a guy posted maybe with AWP. Low chance, but chance. A guy playing close here solo sometimes if they're kind of playing more gambly. But they're basically playing for info Nana. As soon as they see something, they either smoke or they just fall off, go to another jiggle, fall off again, and just jiggle back. And that's when you rotate back. So what you do is instead of letting them play 4A and re-clear bracket, you just say, okay, they can re-clear bracket with 4. Let's go like insta like run B. So you can do a 1 motion B, or you just re-clear. So you just re-clear the map control that you've lost. Make sure he's not here. He's not here. Okay, walking up. Still, I haven't seen anything. Okay, this is a bit weird. You peek here. Okay, you see him jiggle here. So you know he's solo. Jiggles like this and he jumps to smoke. Okay, he's solo. So you've just re-cleared all this map control. You've thrown no util, but now you're forced to rotate back. Now they have to kind of rotate a guy back because this guy's dropped his smoke. So this is re-clearing, and it's super important, and it's good across pretty much every map. When you feel like, say you're in brackets here, you feel stuck, you're like you're not sure what to do. You kind of want to just kind of want to end A because it just feels easier, and you don't want to go and re-clear none. It kind of feels a bit more like scary. Just go and re-clear none. It's just always a really good option. It also depends on the time, so make sure you have enough time left. So next concept is playing in heavy man advantage. So let's have an example of a 3v1. Now, I've seen a lot of people lose 3v1s, and most of the time it's because you're giving 1v1 fights. Now, everyone knows this, but I'll explain this concept a bit more. So for example, there's one guy left. You knew he was top mid. He's gonna have bomb. You guys are 3 left on CT Mirage. So you have one guy playing short, you have one guy playing apps, jump spotting, you have one guy con, and you have one guy CT. So when you're in these situations, you don't want to be taking these fights. So the CT guy, you don't want him like holding these angles open, taking 1v1s, because if this guy walks out pals, for example, and just hits a nice headshot, plants, now he's in a 2v1 after plant, he's almost in a winning position, right? So you don't want that to happen. So the way you win these 3v1s always is just jiggling and just playing for info. So with the molly out, flash, whatever you want, just jiggling, getting info. So for example, in this situation, you'd have the CT player jump swatting, staying alive. He just needs to get info. Say the guy's A main, he gets info A main, he can just hide ticket, smoke himself, do whatever. The guy can't plant because remember we also have a guy con who can hide in here. The whole planet, the whole site is covered. He can flash for each other. It's pretty much impossible for him to win. If he isolated the 1v1s, then he can still win. So this is the best way to play it. Jiggling in heavy man advantages, getting the info, and then playing back. And blocking, just not letting him come. Just not giving him any space to just be able to peek you, like in con. And just like, say you're in the open, just insta-kill you. And then he has a bunch of space to win the round. It's the same in B-apps. You don't want him just holding like some angle like this, because there's a chance he just comes up here and just hard clears you, and then he has a plant and an after plant. So, jump spotting, getting info, sees the guy fall back. Now your teammates can rotate, you stay alive, even jump on here. The guy, it's very hard for the guy to win. If he wants to get you, he has to push here, and by the time you come here, say he pre-fires you even, you have the rotating market. So, this is how you play 3v1s, heavy men advantage, 4v1s, 5v1s, even 5v2s, because they're going to probably group up, just getting info, and then playing back, and letting your numbers be the win condition. Next one is H-ing behind mollies. For example, if you molly A main late, you know, you think they're coming A, and you molly like this, as a A player. Quite often, players, they like to sit behind mollies, so especially if they say there's like 30 seconds left, you've blocked them, they're always going to be standing like here, ready to go out after the molly fades. So a concept you can do is to nade behind mollies. So it's a really good concept because they love to stand behind them. So say you're blocking, you think they're going to come A, but you're blocking, you don't want them to come, then nade behind it. Just do really good damage. Now next one's overpeaking on ecos. So is that good or bad? Now I think it's good to overpeak on ecos. So for example here on Anubis, now instead of playing just con like you would normally do where you drop a molly and just chilling like this, which is completely viable, what I see a lot of players do against ecos and like just deagle rounds is just peeking everything. So not being afraid of not giving the tech 9s or the deagle space, and just peeking and always going for fights, that kind of thing. So not fighting like close range angles like this or something where you can just get into the tech 9, but playing like long range angles is super advantageous, and you'll see like good players, good teams do this. For example, in con on eco rounds, most good players, they always get a flash over from the mid player, and if they bounce a flash here and they just peek con, because they know a deagle's not going to probably hit the shot, and it's worse if people get this much space and then randomly run in here. They say you're not peeking, you've just blocked them, and just in between the molly and the smoke they catch the timing and just insta headshot you. That's worse than going for these fights. So going for peaks and not being afraid to overpeak in ecos against ecos is good. Now this is for buyers. So I think there's an example on Ancient where one guy had like 2.7, one guy had 2.8, one guy had 4.1, one had 1,700, one had 1,800. So usually this looks kind of weird, and it's like not sure kind of what to do. Like maybe we just save and just buy an next round. The 4-100 guy can just buy a deagle, and like that's fine. But what you can do here is when you have those two guys on 2.7 or 2.8, those two drop AKs. So 2.7, 2.8 drop AKs. The 4.1 buys an AK in a smoke or AK flashes. And now you have 3 AKs, and he drops them to the 1.7 guy and the 1.8k guy, and those two drop digs to the first 2. So now you have 3 AKs and you have like some smokes and flashes to work with instead of just having like, I don't know, like a Galil on one guy and full eco. So it's actually a winnable round. But when you're doing these force buys and these weird rounds where you're like dropping AK when you have like 2.7k, is you need to be aware that you have low util, so you need to design the round to be able to be successful with that low util. You don't want to just go into just a completely normal default where you're throwing both your smokes early and then you have nothing left. How are you supposed to end the site, right? You might want to go into some sort of contact already, some sort of explode, something with fairly low util that's going to work on these kind of rounds. So don't be afraid to do these kind of force buys, catch your opponents off guard. So if you guys feel stuck at all in CS, I have a coaching program, so just chuck me a message on Twitter or check out my website if you feel like you need some help implementing anything I talked about in this video. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. I'll see you in the next one.